Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Build Evil Fortress Part 3, Outer Towers. Now, as the name suggests, today we're going to be hitting the outer towers. That's the two framework foundations that we haven't built yet. You see this tower here, that's the third tower on the outskirts, outside the lava ring. And we completed that last episode, but this episode we're going to hit the kind of castle foundation ones. Build them up to the level that they should be at. And try to hook them up with walkways to the main keep itself. I've got a few ideas for how I want to build these towers, and I want to maintain a gothic feel with the tips of them by expanding the top of the tower slightly so it's a little bit bulbous at the top. So the first task was to build up with dark stone brick to a level I'd be happy with. Which was just above the tree that you see on the left. Once I had that, I got dark wood out and created a floor for myself. And then it was crenellations time. Now, I spent a long time on these crenellations because this was an awkward shape for the top of a tower, and I had to play around with where I put the stone bricks to get the crenellations looking right. And then once I had them in the right place, I went around with iron bars to add a mesh kind of protective mesh effect. But the one thing iron bars do that wooden fences don't are promote a kind of evil ambience. I always find that the wooden fences are a bit more kind of placid and tame, whereas the iron bars look a bit more evil. And once those were in place, I built a circle foundation and again started to build up. And once I'd reached a decent height, I came down and looked at the detail on the side of the towers. Again, when you're building these towers, you can't just have plain cylinders. That looks kinda off. I mean, it's easy and it's simple to build up to the height that you want without adding detail at the start. But once you get to a certain height, it's about time to come down and look at the windows and the ledges and things, and look into giving the tower a bit of variety and a bit of depth to make it look a bit more unique. So then above the level of detail, I expanded the tower out only slightly, because I didn't want it to be too fat at the top, and then began to construct the red nether brick step roof. Now again, just like the roof on the tower you see on the left, I wanted these roofs to kind of creep up in a kind of curve. That they're going to peak really high and sharp, but they're also going to change the angle of ascent as they go up. And I tried to mirror the style of the other tower as much as possible. I think I achieved the look that I was going for as well. And then with the roof done, I added windows to the top of the tower and considered it almost complete. I added a lot of iron bars to the top as well as decoration, and torches there as placeholders just so that you can see exactly what it looks like since we're under the cover of night. But of course we've got the castle section at the bottom of the tower. If this is a two-tier tower, and the second tier has been decorated, we've still got to hit the first tier and find a way to connect this tower to the main keep via one of the walkways that we built similar to the other tower. So I built a kind of entrance here with light stone brick steps about the level that I wanted it. And once I was happy with that, I built rough framework for the roof, planned where the wooden floor would be, and then built up from the lava with dark stone brick. And you see here those support struts coming up out of the lava. They connected with the dark wood floor for the walkway, and then I began to flesh out the arches with some light stone brick. I toyed with the arch closest to the tower, closest to the castle keep, until it looked right, and then began to build the large tower on the central obsidian island. Now, I didn't want to develop this tower too much because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with the parts of the citadel that are on top of the obsidian. So I built up as far as I needed to connect it with the walkway, and then continued for a small while because with the tower itself, I want it to be higher than the outer towers. The outer towers are the shortest of all the towers, and when you look at how high they are, that gives you an idea of exactly how high we want to make the whole citadel in general. So I came along here and repeated the design I had for the walkways around the other parts of the citadel. And I didn't want the roof of the walkway to go all the way to the castle keep. I wanted to preserve the cool door effect that I had there. So I only built 2 sections of roof and left the last section open to the atmosphere. But then on the sections that did have roof, I copied the style of the other walkways and replaced the stone brick steps with wood. So now the walkway's done. I added a bit of wooden floor, and then got the darkstone brick out to begin my climb once again to the heavens with this large tower part of the citadel. Now for the time being I was just building up, and again like I said, all I knew was that this tower was going to be bigger, taller than the tower you see on the right there, bigger than all of the outer towers. So I built up a fair distance before coming down to the bottom of the tower. Now, a cylinder has to have decoration along the sides, but the best way to deal with the bottom is to make it slightly thicker and add a little bit of decoration that you can imagine would support a structure on top of it. So I built up the sides of the circle, added some wooden fence posts, and added a little bit of decoration, making the wooden fence posts climb up the tower. I spent a while with darkstone brick and wooden fences, decorating the side of the tower, getting things to how I wanted them to look, and even then I wasn't entirely sure. I built so many wooden fence posts you see at the sides of the circle here, in the 3 section of wooden fence posts. I wasn't sure if that was too many fences you see here, so what I did was I came back later and removed 2 of those, and toyed around with the rest of the tower as well, adding some iron bars until I got a finished look that you see here that I was happy with. And there you have it, 1 tower from the citadel complete and 2 of the outer towers. So it's time to come around to the 3rd and final outer tower. Now you see that red stick that I was deleting? That was a guide rail that I built over from the other tower to map out exactly how high the castle section, the first tier of the tower, went. I wanted the first castle tier of this tower to be exactly the same height as the other tower we built previously. So you see there suspended in the atmosphere a red brick and 2 darkstone bricks, and what I did with this tower was I built up 3 by 3 until I got to the height that I'd pre-mapped out, then deleted those blocks and capped it off with some dark wood for the floor. Adding a few torches so you can see what we're doing. And then hitting the crenellations again. Copying the design we had on the other tower as much as I could. And when that was finished, it was time to build again the circle for the 2nd tier of the tower. It's darkstone brick again, and climbing up 3 by 3 towards our target height. Periodically going over to the other tower to check exactly how we built the previous one. I could have gone the easy route and just copy pasted with World Edit, but I wanted you guys to see that I could rebuild the tower by taking a look at what we built previously and just replicating that. For those of you that aren't au fait with World Edit. So again, I start with the roof this time, skipping the detail because that's something I can come back to now that I know exactly how I'm going to do the detail. So I finished off the cap of the roof, again identical to the previous tower, and then when that was complete, I copied the detail. And there we have it, the 3 majestic towers reaching up into the sky around the edge of the lava lake. We've began work on the main citadel has also begun. You see that main tower in the middle? Now that's not the largest or tallest of the towers, That'll be the one at the bottom left. But it's one of the larger towers for sure. And next episode, I think we're going to be hitting the main citadel itself and mapping out exactly how high and how sprawling we want our gothic evil fortress to look. With walkways reaching everywhere, and lava spilling out over the obsidian disc to cascade over the edges and create a waterfall effect. So I've been Sjin, thanks for watching this episode, part 3 of Let's Build an Evil Fortress. Hit like and favourite to support the series, and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Take care.